for a lot of you, I'm sure it feels like summer just started. But before we know it, it is back to school time for the kids. In fact, 2 or 3 weeks in most districts in Utah. Lifestyle and parenting expert Amanda Mushro has been thinking about this and is here to discuss a whole bunch of back to school stuff, some essentials for kids, and also how to help our kids get ready to go back to school. If they're going into a new school, if they're bumping up in school to junior high or high school. So Amanda, thanks for being with us. Let's just start with the baseline. What is the issue with kids getting into school? How prevalent is anxiety in that situation?
I think that for a lot of parents, when our kids tell us that they're nervous or anxious, sometimes we have a tendency to just brush it off and say, oh, you'll be fine. You just need to get there. But I think that what we have learned is that we need to just take a second. We need to really hear and listen to our kids, because a lot of times we can come up with really simple solutions that will make them feel better, that lets them start that first day off on the right foot. So I think as parents, just take a minute, take a breath, and just really hear your kids and talk about what their concerns are.
And you know what, Amanda, I resonate with that because as a parent, I have 2 boys, and what I realized is that I had anxieties about them going to school, completely related to my school experience, and I was an anxious kid and was scared to death of getting into school, and I realized that was not their experience. And I wonder, did you have similar experiences? What have you seen?
I think that is such a great way to think about it. So I can remember as a kid always being so afraid that I was going to miss the bus, even though I could just go to the office and call my mom. And I can just remember that being such a concern of mine. So I feel like I may have even put that fear onto my kids. And I'm like, make sure that you get onto that bus. And if you don't get on the bus, you just go to the office and you call mom. And it's almost like we put that onto our kids when, again, there's a really simple solution that maybe we just talk about those things and say, hey, what would you do if maybe you did miss the bus? Because they might have a great solution for it. And on the flip side, you can give them a simple answer. So I think that is so right. While they are extensions of us, they don't necessarily have our fears and anxieties. So it goes back to that. Just listen to your kids. You know, they know what they're feeling and they have their own experiences.
Yeah, and there's a lot that we can do to help them out. But I love that you start with the parents and making sure that we're not kind of instilling our anxieties or our issues on them. But you also have some really fun ideas, which are things like when you get into the back to school shopping, make sure that it's not a chore, but it's something that you're getting them excited to get into school, listen to what they might really want, like personalizing gear and the gear that you buy.
Yes, so I think that we can get those, we have to get so many crayons and pencils and folders, but I think personalizing the things that we have for our kids is going to make it so much more fun for them. And so one really great way to do that is to let them decorate, add some little DIY touches, or something really fun that I have here. These are called Clipkins, and they're just these little plush toys that clip onto pens, pencils, water bottles. You can put it onto their computer screen or their bag, and it's just a fun way to get them excited about going back to school, and it's just a cute little unicorn or cute little creature. So that's a fun way to personalize their back to school gear.
Yeah, if you're a parent who's better at buying things than being crafty like me, then then that could be helpful. I'm sure a lot of parents out there also have great ideas for how to, like, different materials they can use from home for doing that. Other suggestions that you wrote about in a really good article, a fun article, was thinking about that first day of school and planning for it, making it an event, so the kids they're excited for more than just school.
So I am big about making a big deal over those really important moments. And I think a first day of school, whether they are going to preschool or they are headed off to high school. So I like the idea of making them a really fantastic breakfast, maybe a few decorations. Listen, you can dig up old birthday balloons you have laying around, but your kids will just be so excited just to make it special that you're excited for them, then they'll get excited. And I mean, if your mom isn't going to make something special for you, then who will? That's my theory.
Yeah. And do you have, how would you suggest to parents of kids of different ages, what would be the difference between, sending a kid to kindergarten for the first time is always a big thing, and each year can be big. But what about that jump to middle school or to high school? Do you approach those differently?
I think you definitely have to approach it differently, and where it's just a matter of you're going to have so much fun and you're going to learn all of these great things, and I'm going to drop you off in the morning or going to ride the bus. All of those things we say to our preschoolers and kindergartners. I think, again, it goes back to talking to our middle schoolers, our high schoolers, listening to them. What are their concerns? What do they want to know? Whether it's, do we need to go, let's go take a tour of the school. Let's just go walk around. Schools are open in the summertime. Maybe you can just walk through, check out the cafeteria. That would make me feel better, knowing where these different classrooms are. I think a lot of times it goes back to the gear. While we don't need to buy a whole brand new wardrobe, maybe get them a little bit excited, like, hey, is there anything special you wanted to get? Maybe a cool new pair of shoes, gives you enough time to sort of budget and plan for it. But just find ways to relate to them, talk to them. And again, if you find that your solutions just aren't helping, talk to their counselors.
Yeah.
The school counselors are there. They've got great resources. I mean, they are trained to be able to send you to the right direction to help support your kid, because you just want them to have a great first day, and hopefully that first day just leads into a great whole school year.
I love that you've mentioned the word listening a whole lot as we've talked about this. Amanda Mushro, if you want to look up the article that she wrote about helping kids get ready for school, just Google her, and I included Amanda Mushro and then anxiety at school, and it got me right to your article. So thanks so much, Amanda.
Thank you so much for having me.